At 77 years of age. And I raised a family. Now, you know, back in the day, they used to say, well, how can lesbians have children? Well, honey, my family married me off when I was 14 years old because I was gay. I was in Saratoga Springs, New York, the talk of the town. My family said we ain't had it. So they married me off to a 35-year-old minister. So, you know, it didn't last long because one day my mother almost went to jail because in New York State that was illegal. So even though the marriage is consummated, it was still, you know, it was no. But now let's get to 1969. Yes, what happened was everybody had gone uptown in their finery to view Judy Garland.
Yeah.
And it poured down rain, honey. They tell me that it poured down rain. I wasn't there for that part. What I understood was everybody came back to Stonewall Cafe and was lamenting and mourning and playing her music. And all of a sudden, the cops decided to pull one of their famous graves. Now, I want to digress for a minute because, you know, we don't know about police brutality, right? Honey, it had been going, police brutality had been going on in the gay community. At that time, it was the underground. And the only place to go would be to the village. And you go in these different bars and whatnot. The cops would go in, raid, and then they would bring a woman with them. They wouldn't even call the women in them days. They wouldn't call them police officers. Police matron. Police matron. And the matron was there. So that when they rounded up people, if the matron and the women that were in drag, if they didn't have on 3 pieces of male clothing, some of you out there know what I'm talking about. Didn't have on broad panties, her ass was going to jail. And the police matron was there to search to make sure of that. With the guys, if the man didn't have on either boxer shorts or some kind of a t-shirt underneath, under all that finery, his ass was going to jail. And one thing, and I'm using that language, yes, because this is what they did. They raided the bars. They round up these guys, and of course on the weekends, the only time people could wear their finery, or as y'all call it nowadays, the bling, and some of it was really real, the cops would take it from them. Put them in jail, and they'd take whatever they had, and they would use it. You know? Well, okay. This night, everybody got sick and tired.
Yes, ma'am.
They were back in the Stonewall Inn, and the cops came in and decided to do one of their famous raids. And everybody said, enough is enough, we ain't taking it no more. There was a guy in there who used to come in from California dressed in drag. He got out the door and took a parking meter. Now, can you imagine that?
Yeah.
He took a parking meter up out the ground, put it across the door so the cops could not get out. Because in them days, all they had was walkie-talkie, not having the technology. Nowadays, child cops, they came in there with guns and everybody would die. But that was it. And, you know, and so what happened was, that was the beginning, the first night.
Yes.
Okay. I was out there on the second night. Now, the second night, all of us was out there. People of color, you know, people of uncolored, people of every color, people whatever, you know, they had heard the word, they came to join the melee. Now, what I want to set the record straight for is, because you've heard all the stories over the years.
Yes.
And unfortunately, it was talked by the salt, not about the pepper. You know, in other words, like it was told from the white side,
yes,
ma'am, our side.
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
That was not a riot. When people started talking about riots, I said, wait a minute, honey, hold on. Let me tell you, I'm a black person. Let me tell you about a riot. Wasn't nobody breaking no windows. Wasn't nobody robbing anything. Wasn't nobody turning over cars. Wasn't nobody setting garbage cans on fire. No. It was a rebellion. And the Stonewall Rebellion was against the police brutality.
All right now.
That's what that was
took off the heels, baby.
That first year march, why that didn't get any publicity. Because Jim Owls, Martin Huberman, a brother named Peter had a German name, and they had been put out of all of these so-called changes. Okay, there was okay. What happened the first march? It was 3 people that had been put out of the Communist Party for being gay, Socialist Workers Party for being gay, and the Black Panther Party. And we made that first march, that first year. Now, as we marched from the village up to the sheep meadow, we got up by that famous cathedral, and they poured out of the cathedral. They called us names. They threw eggs at us. They threw tomatoes at us. And there were only about 100 of us strong. And you imagine what 100 people look like going up Fifth Avenue. But we locked arms and we went on.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Absolutely.
What I want to tell you is, yes, 47 years. We've come a long way. We have a long way to go. I'm telling you this story because I want you all to tell the young people.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
what we have to talk to. Because like I said, I'm 77. I got 16 grandchildren,
Yes,
17
legacy.
great-grandchildren. I'm going to be gone from here. But I want them to be able to tell the story. And I want you all to fight for your rights. And the biggest thing of all, live your truth.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.